Ars gratia artis, art for art's sake, art for the love of art, art because you have a passion for it. We're here in the art-heavy Montrose district, home to a litany of galleries and showcases to learn about one particular artist that I learned about through social media, to learn more of the magic behind his work. I'm Javan Hamilton, and this is Edgar Medina. Well, you're gonna be.
Oh shoot! I gotta introduce myself, right?
Well, I have it all on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Edgar Medina, and I'm a local artist here in Houston. Right after my trip from New York, which I visited for the first time back in 2007 or 8, I went and bought some paints and canvases and more like started doing more like an actual hobby. So, but I always been very creative ever since I was little. Montrose is a very hip area, so I lived in the suburbs of Houston when I first moved to the States, and once I found out about the Montrose area, this is like where the magic happens in a way, very close to all the different areas and museums, medical center, downtown and whatnot, the LGBT neighborhood, so everything happening in this bubble. It's art everywhere here around Montrose, so it's definitely inspiring.
Any and every creative has drawn inspiration from somewhere. But after a while, after establishing your own body of work, you do eventually become your own inspiration.
Yes, of course, like visiting the museums is inspiring. You see all these amazing artists from back in the 1800s that inspire you. But for me, like now I've been doing it for 10 years, I feel like I inspire myself through my own works, the stuff that I have created when I first started. So I just kind of go back and I would say kind of mix it up or fuse two things together, or learning from my own mistakes, how a new piece happened, but also most of my inspiration comes from nature, landscapes, even the skyline of Houston. Like I take a lot of pictures for my work, just I'm walking and I see something even on the ground that inspired me, or like here in the studio, a little corner of not a mistake, but something that I'm working on in another piece, and then you create something else and you take a picture, crop it, and then get the inspiration from there, and then you look at some colors somewhere else, the sunset, so I piece everything together, and then something happens. It just happens organically.
Art is everywhere in Houston. There's even a giant sculpture that says so. But what makes Houston such a magnet for creatives?
I travel with my work in different cities to LA, Chicago, Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I've shown in Miami as well, and I love all those cities. Every time I go somewhere else, I feel like I can live there and be a part of the art scene, but then I come back and Houston is home. I mean, I just love the energy that Houston offers from many people that come from different places, like myself and yourself, and we just form this thing that it's Houston.
A certain je ne sais quoi here in the Space City. Medina has done showcases all around the country, and even at a wedding.
A person that happened to come into the studio, like my work, and brought up the idea if I wanted to create art at a wedding, and I've never done that before. You only have 2 or 3 hours to create a piece, so you have to come prepared, number one. You don't want to be winging nothing out at the last minute and something goes wrong and whatnot. So they had selected the painting they love, so I just created the painting especially for them.
Laying out your frame, stretching the canvas, applying layer after layer, lather, rinse, repeat. It can be laborious, but it's a labor of love. It's also a way to give back to the community.
It's just very important for me to give back because we all need help, and I've been very blessed to give so much through my live paintings, through donations that I do, and silent auctions and whatnot for many, many organizations in Houston.
Organizations such as the Muscular Dystrophy Association, Tahiri Justice Center, Teen Health Baylor, and the American Cancer Society.
I had this little girl that she couldn't even grab the the brush, and I was trying to help her, and she just snatched her hand like, let me do it. And again, it reminds you that they set their mind to what they want to do, and they go for it, and they want to have a good time. They want to get their hands dirty and create, and that's what life is about, find your passion, which I have, and being able to give back is very fulfilling.
No creative generally sets out to leave a legacy, but it's always one of those things that just happens. One client in particular happened to notice one of Medina's paintings displayed in the studio window. He later visited to browse the studio, returning with his wife after liking what he saw. They did commission a piece, only for Hurricane Harvey to destroy their home soon after. But the day before the taping of this interview, Medina got the opportunity to install this piece in their newly renovated home.
That's why I love to install and deliver my work. It is very important to meet the clients and get to know them and hear their story as they take the time to hear about my story as well. Art is very subjective. It's either you like it or you hate it, and everyone is gonna have a different taste. I think it's about the feeling for me, because I love what I create, or when I'm creating, and I hope that that transmits to other people. As a friend of mine called it, like when I was moving studios, it's just like, this is where I come in, this is where I create, this is where I get inspired, this is my home, this is where I can be myself. So it's about the feeling, I would say. It's very inspiring to create. So.
A happy space.
Yes, I love it. Follow me on Instagram at Edgar Medina Studio, also Facebook, Edgar Medina Studio, the page, and Instagram is what I do mostly now, and also my website, which is medinaedgar.com. That's where I post all the updates. I'm Edgar Medina, and this is Houston. Yay.